So it seems that you could have intelligence without having consciousness. In one of my previous videos, I talked about blind sight. So you could have someone who you throw a ball at and they will catch it. They will move around obstacles, but they will not actually be able to see them. They will not experience the qualia. They will not experience a conscious sensation. And so for some people, this suggests epiphenomenalism. It suggests the idea that consciousness is this extra thing which is floating above the machinery. Like, this is like some absolutely transparent, ghostly stuff. And over here you have the causal chains of physics. You have actual stuff causing other stuff. And then somehow here is, all the pleasures and pains and strawberries and cherry flavors and colors and moods and sensations and energies of feeling your body sitting and moving and so on. All these experiences then exist here, and they are just floating. And then it's like how, it's a mystery because it has nothing to do with the machinery apparently. But actually that's wrong, because to even be capable of speaking about this, it would have to be embedded within the causal machinery. Whatever causes you to speak, to say, I am conscious, to say, I taste the flavor of cherry, has to necessarily also follow the laws of physics. It can't actually violate thermodynamics and everything we know about how molecules bind and how neurons work and so on. So this picture is wrong. Nonetheless, blind sight and phenomena like this do suggest something else. They don't suggest epiphenomenalism, but they suggest that experience is embedded within the machinery, but it's not necessary for what we tend to think that it's necessary. You tend to think that consciousness actually is required in order to move, in order to do stuff. And that's sort of the user illusion that someone like Daniel Dennett will talk about, or Robin Hanson will talk about. It's that consciousness tricks you into thinking that it's necessary itself, whereas you could remove it and you could still function. But it's not epiphenomenal. It serves another role. It serves another role which actually takes up energy from perhaps raw intelligence. So an example to illustrate this is orangutans and chimpanzees. So it's known that chimps are more intelligent than orangutans. But orangutans are perhaps more conscious than chimpanzees. And we don't actually know this because we don't have the best way of measuring consciousness ever. We just have a fairly crude version of a sort of Turing test for consciousness, which is the mirror test. So you see if something can have those self-reflective capacities by actually putting something that reflects light in front of it. Will it appropriate this behavior as self, and therefore have a capacity to form a self-model somewhere in the workings of that brain? And so it seems that orangutans are much better at the mirror test than chimps, even though chimps are more intelligent in the sense that they can just achieve more stuff. They're capable of affecting their environment far more and capable of doing stuff even in terms of politics and stuff better than orangutans. So could it be that consciousness is an investment made by social mammals which detract actually from intelligence? In which case, that is pretty worrying. That is worrying because that which is going to have the most effect in the sum tenseless object in terms of shifting experiential mass is going to be that which is the most intelligent. And if that which is most intelligent isn't necessarily conscious, it will have no concern whatsoever to what happens to that which is conscious. And so that sucks for the things that are actually conscious. And that might explain the problem of evil, which is, if God exists, why doesn't he do something about it? Well, because he doesn't give a shit.